Welcome to all Patreon subscribers. You have been granted top secret majestic clearance to the following content. It is for your eyes and ears only. Thank you for your cooperation.
How you first find out about the crash at the ranch?
How I did. You see, I was in my office just about lunchtime. I went to the office club and I ordered lunch, and just as I sat down to eat, the sheriff of Wilcox of that county called me. And he told me he had a rancher there in his office that he would like me to talk to. I said, well, I'll be there. I can be there in a few minutes. So I didn't even finish eating. He told me he found something on his ranch that would bear investigating. So I got in my staff car and drove out to the sheriff's office. And there I met this Mr. Brazel, who had come into town to do two things: sell his wool of his sheep and also buy a new pickup truck.
Uh-huh.
And I talked to him quite a while, and he told me what he had. So I said, well, fine. I said, well, you wait for us here, and I'll go and get somebody to go along with me, and we'll follow you. Meantime, I told my commanding officer that what had happened, and he said, well, go ahead and find out. After all, that was my duty. And so we followed about cross-country, about 35, 40 miles, I guess. No road, just cross-country. We just followed his truck till we got to his shack where he lived. We got there very late in the evening, too late to do anything, so we sat down and had a meal with opened a can of corn and beans and rice.
Okay.
And we ate and we discussed it quite a bit. He told me quite a bit. He said he knew exactly where it was. He said, well, we'll get up early tomorrow morning and go out there.
What did he tell you he had seen?
Beg pardon?
Now, this was even before you went out the next morning. What did he tell you he thought he saw?
He told me he had heard what he thought was an explosion, although they had thunder and lightning, and said he didn't pay too much attention to it.
Okay.
But then when he went out the next morning, he saw all this debris scattered all over. And that afternoon he came to town and he told the sheriff about it. So that's how we got to it.
And you were at the time, you were the intelligence officer on the base, is that right?
That's right. I had charge of intelligence and security for the entire base. That was the first atomic bomb group, by the way.
Ah, yes.
And so it went on from that.
And so then the next morning you woke up, and where did you go?
Well, we went out to the scene of where the crash was, and we started picking up the debris. See, I brought one of my common intelligence men with me, and we brought my staff car plus a Jeep carry-on, which is equivalent to pickup truck. Well, we got everything we could in that, and then I sent the CIC agent going back to the base. You see, and I stayed with Mr. Brazel quite a bit. That's what I filled up my car with stuff. And it was kind of around 7 or 8, maybe 8 o'clock in the evening before I got back home. I didn't even know where I was.
Ah, yes.
And by the time I got back home, my wife said, what happened to you? There's been a bunch of news reporters out here wanting a picture of you. I said, for what? And then the public relations officer was with him, you see. He said, from what happened, he said, your husband will be very popular by tomorrow morning.
Uh-oh.
Brother, he let it out to the press. And so that's how it all started.
Can you describe the materials that you found on the site?
It's almost indescribable. It's not the kind of material that I've seen in my life, nor have I seen it since. It's not nothing that I could recognize as anything. There are various types of materials which I couldn't identify any of it. Little members that looked like made of wood, and but it was not wood. It's flexible, but not wood. I wouldn't even burn even. And so what amazed me the most of all is the weightlessness of all this material. It weighed nothing. I found one piece of metal, supposedly metal anyway, which is about maybe a foot wide and about 2.5 feet, maybe two and a half feet long. And of course I brought it back to the base, and I had my boys, I had a flock of enlisted men working for me. And we brought the whole thing into the briefing room, set up a whole lot of tables there, and one boy, pretty ingenious guy, says, let me see if I can put some of those parts together to see what the thing might have looked like. Well, I said, well, go ahead. Of course, then I had other Jews to do it. I'll have work at it. And he came back and said, Major, he said, I can't put anything together. You can't get any idea what the thing looked like. So I consulted my CO. So then my CO said, what you better do is fly the thing to Wright-Patterson Airfield in Detroit. So we loaded the whole thing at B-29, and which was not a whole lot of material. I mean, after all, just what a pickup truck would hold and what I could carry in my car. Wasn't no hell of a lot of it.
Yeah.
In fact, we didn't pick up, we only picked up one small fraction of what was out there. It was scattered over such an area. It's about, I said 3/4 of a mile long and several hundred feet wide. Well, we were busy all day long picking up the stuff, small fragments. And we got back to the base with it, and that's how it is. But the next morning, my CO told me to go ahead and fly the thing to Wright-Patterson. I said, well, don't you think it would be a good idea to stop at Carswell at Fort Worth and consult the General Ramey? He said, yeah, you better do that. So when I got to Fort Worth, General Ramey was not there. He'd gone down to southern Texas, and I had to wait a couple of hours for him. When he finally showed up, I went to his office and talked it over with him. He says, well, leave it up to me. He said, don't open your mouth to the press, which I wasn't about to anyway. And so he said, well, put some stuff on the floor, let them take a picture of it. But I was careful not to put anything with detail on it. So they took pictures. The one picture that appeared in the paper the next day, you see. But then General Ramey and the Colonel, General Ramey came out first. He said, he told the news reporter, he said, well, this is nothing but a crashed weather balloon. So they had to take that, and they all cleared. Well, I do know this, that later on, General Ramey wanted to cover his statement up, because he didn't know himself what it was. So then I went on back to Roswell, resumed my duties. Mm-hmm. Well, what they did at Carswell, I think they made a mock display of it, which they used a battered weather balloon. They let the press take pictures of that. So you see, the whole thing was a cover-up to begin with.
So it was a deliberate cover-up just to get the press off their back?
Definitely. And that's what I assume. I presume that, but I can't see another reason. That's the last I heard of it. I went back and resumed my duties as intelligence officer with the base.
Uh-huh.
And because I was a busy boy out there. I had a big office to run. I had 20 typists. I had 5 officers and 3 counterintelligence agents working for me. Because I had security of the whole thing, you see. I was running the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so then, that's all I heard. Of course, I started getting telephone calls from all over the world, which I refused. I couldn't give them any information, you see, so I had to just call it off. And that was the end of it. I've heard of it.
So you're pretty convinced that what you saw was not the remains of a weather balloon?
Oh, definitely. I could swear on the biggest Bible there is. But I know it was not a weather balloon. It wasn't a missile. It wasn't any part of an aircraft. The kind of aircraft we know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it all started. Well, 32 years went by. I never heard any more about it. Then Stanton Friedman, who's a nuclear physicist, which incidentally he and I have a lot in common because we both studied nuclear physics under the same instructor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Stan's an old friend of mine.
Is that right?
Yeah, sure. I've known Stan for many years now.
Is that right?
Sure.
Well, I'll be doggone.
Yeah, in fact,
Well, anyway, to make a long story short, Stanton Friedman spent a whole day over here when they brought this film. This filming outfit. They came out here and filmed me over here. They had me before their camera for about 6 hours.
Hmm.
That was for the film they called UFOs Are Real.
Right.
And then I never heard anything about it anymore. So, excuse me. Let's see. numbers had, it was some kind of hieroglyphics which I could not decipher and nobody else could. All that I aimed to the analysis laboratory. I picked up as much of that as I could, and I sent it in. But what it was, I don't know. It was not wood. It looked like balsa wood, however. But it wasn't wood. It was flexible. But you couldn't break it, and you couldn't burn it.
And it had this writing on it?
That's right. So what that was, I don't know. I still don't know. You see, there's so many things I don't know about the whole thing. All I was the instrument that picked up the fragments on the ground.
Did you find? I was going to ask you. Did you find any like instrument panels at all?
No, I didn't. But I want to reiterate on this piece of metal that I found which was about the thickness of foil in a pack of cigarettes. But the amazing part about it, you could put it on the ground and tap it with a 16-pound sledgehammer. You couldn't even look a dent in it. See, that's the one thing that astounded me. I knew it was nothing from here. So I had to let it go at that. Of course, I sent that in. And whatever happened, I don't know.
You know, when you say you were convinced that it was not from here, what exactly do you mean?
I was convinced that it was not from anywhere on Earth. I'm still convinced of that.
Now, there are certain people who are fragments of a meteor.
Well, that it couldn't be. Because a meteor would be all solids. No, I'm convinced that there is something besides. There's something up there. Now, what it is, I don't know.
I assume you did not ever see the actual disc that also came down.
No.
Can you tell me what you first heard about that?
I tell you, there's a man in Roswell. He's a very reliable man. He's a writer. Not a writer, I mean a scientist.
Uh-huh.
And that one evening, late in the evening, he was standing on this porch. And by the way, his name is Wilmot.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the man is no longer living.
Yes.
But I talked to his son. His son related the whole thing that his daddy told him. Now, this Mr. Wilmot, that evening was standing on his porch, and he saw his object to the northwest from Roswell. And it was lighted, and it wavered. And I think Mr. Wilmot told me, his son told me, that he saw it, his daddy told me he saw it explode. Well, that's hearsay, you see. Because it was not the man who saw it. It was his son who told me that. And so, incidentally, this filming outfit that filmed us also to film him and his son, Mr. Paul Wilmot. And we went to his house. And that's all I know about it. I don't know whether that was included in the film that they put out on In Search Of or not. I don't know.
No, I don't think they did.
Well, they probably didn't show it.
Unless they may have, they could have included it maybe in...
I don't know about it.
Yeah. When did you first start getting curious? Was it when you were there on the site?
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to explore, I wanted to find out if it was an object that had hit the ground. And obviously it was not, because there's no scar on the ground at all anywhere. It's something that obviously exploded in the air, and the fragments scattered all over the place. Okay? Is that any better?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is what happened. I scoured the ground. I looked all over the place to see if I could see this scar on the ground. It's something that had fallen out of the sky and hit the ground. But that was not an evidence at all. It was obviously something that exploded while in flight and scattered all the fragments on the ground as it traveled.
Okay.
And from the direction of that everything was pointing, it was from the northeast to the southwest. Now I didn't cover the entire area because it was quite an area to cover. We were busy picking up fragments. So that's how it all happened. When we got the carry-all loaded up, I sent the CIC agent back to the base with it, and I stayed there and picked up and filled my car with it. And later on took off. And it was about 8 o'clock at night when I got home with it.
I understand you even tried to burn some of the pieces.
Oh, yes. I tried to burn any all parts of it. even something that looked like, something like some material, flexible material. It was porous, but it did not burn.
Now, I guess at the time, then later on, after this all happened, you then later heard that a disc had come down.
Well, yeah, that's hearsay. I don't know anything about that.
Did you ever try and verify that through official channels afterwards?
No, I didn't.
Was that because you just felt at the time that it was better not to ask questions?
That's right. And for one thing, it was best not to ask questions about anything. And at that time, I couldn't afford to answer any questions because the whole thing, as far as I knew, was classified. And after all, I'm an intelligence officer. And when an intelligence officer doesn't open his mouth, unless he has something to say that is not classified, that something can misconstrue it, somebody can misconstrue what he's meaning, you see. So I consulted with my commanding officer, Colonel Blanchard. And he says it's best just to keep it under. And I kept it under.
You kept it pretty much to yourself for under 32 years.
Right.
Was that a 32 years of frustration?
No, I really didn't worry about it. I read all I could about UFOs and flying saucers or whatever you have. I was interested in all of it. But I never would say anything about it. Well, Stan Friedman is the one who brought it up to the surface.
Yeah. Now, you yourself just mentioned UFOs and flying saucers. What do you think the object was that exploded and disintegrated?
I just don't know. I wouldn't know what it looked like.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough of it there to even use your wildest imagination to imagine what it was.
But are you convinced that it was an aircraft of some sort?
It was something from that traveled through the air. It was certainly not a ground vehicle. And but it was there.
Was it something that could have been a weapon that we had at the time?
No. For the one basic reason is that any weapons we had not that kind of material in it. Any of the weapons we had. It was not a weapon. It was not a missile by any means. It was not an aircraft.
What kind of guard was placed under this one once you got it to Roswell and you were on your way to Carswell Air Force Base?
The provost marshal, I alerted the provost marshal to he put guards over at night until we get back to open the office next morning. And that day is when Colonel Blanchard told me to go ahead and get in one of the aircraft and fly it over there. And that's once I came back to the base, that's all I heard. That's all I've heard about it.
Nobody ever gave you any follow-up reports or information?
No. No, you see, intelligence doesn't work that way. When you're an intelligence officer, you pass information up, but no information is ever passed back down to you.
Interesting.
You're just a cog in a big wheel.
Was there a point at which you realized that there was something very important here?
Yeah. But I still wouldn't talk about it. As any time before.
At what point did you realize that there was extreme secrecy surrounding this?
Well, within 2 or 3 weeks, I knew that there was something being covered up, and it was secret. I was very glad that I kept my mouth shut about what I knew.
Ah, yes.
And I consulted my commanding officer. He said, "You did a swell job of it."
Isn't it interesting? Do you recall the original press release that came out from Lieutenant Hart?
I saw a copy of it. In fact, a copy was printed in my own hometown paper over here. And but I didn't. My own relatives over here, which I have very few, didn't keep a copy of it. They read about it.
Yeah.
And let's see. I think I don't recall which paper that I saw. That picture appeared on the front page of almost every paper throughout the world. And that made me feel funny.
I don't doubt that.
So I don't want to be that popular.
What was the general feeling among you and let's say your colleagues at the time? Did you ever privately talk about it?
No.
Really?
We never discussed it. We made it a point never to. Because anytime you discuss something, before other people, or even among a small group, it will get out. And that's why your intelligence blood goes to boiling.
I see. And so you felt that this was important enough to really keep it to yourself.
Right. That's right.
Did you ever tell your wife at the time?
Yes, my wife knew, well, small parts of it, but very little.
Yeah.
I never discussed my business with my wife.
Interesting.
That's
So,
my duties.
so you really still aren't totally sure what it was?
No.
You've had 32 years to conjecture.
Right.
Would you care to conjecture at this time?
I don't think that I could. I have, well, that's something maybe I could say that I wouldn't dare say. And I couldn't make that public. It's just, well, it is a conjecture, all right, but I still wouldn't express it.
Okay.
In other words, the reason why it was covered up all the while, that would be strictly conjecture, but I wouldn't want to be cold about it.
Okay, I'll tell you what, rather than make a conjecture about why it was covered up, can you conjecture what this thing was that caused such a stir and such secrecy at the time?
No, I can't say that.
Okay. I'm also curious about why, after 32 years, did you decide to talk about this?
Well, I'll tell you how I decided when Stan Friedman contacted me.
Uh-huh.
And we just hold on.
Sure.
Little feedback in the radio over here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's see, where were we?
I asked you why you finally decided to talk.
Well, Stanton Friedman called me. I'll tell you how it all happened. Stanton Friedman came to the LSU, giving lectures on nuclear physics and also flying saucers. But there's a young fellow in Baton Rouge who had read the paper. He knew about me when all this happened years ago. And he told Stan, he said, the guy you ought to talk to is Jesse Marcel in Homer. He says, he's the one who publicized on this, on finding a flying saucer. So that opened Friedman's eyes. And the following day, Friedman was in New Orleans, and he called me. And I discussed the thing with him, whatever I could say. And that's why Friedman got very interested. So Friedman and Gilmore and Burlitz got together, and that's how they got the information they printed about this book about. They called me several times on the telephone.
Uh-huh.
I gave them whatever information I could. I mean, the information that I knew, with no conjecture, of course. I mean, the actual facts. Because that's something I would not say, anything that's not true. When I say something, I mean it. And just like the things I told you tonight.
Yeah.
There's no conjecture about that. And that's the way I am. I'm built that way. That's why I was a good intelligence officer.
Ah, yes. But
I deal with facts only.
But I guess for so many years, you weren't even really comfortable about talking about these facts.
Right. I wasn't. But I checked, and there was nothing wrong with that. I was given the go-ahead. Because I don't know anything that is really that's still classified, you see.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, there's nothing about this whole thing that's classified, except that I know it is covered up. I feel that way. That's all one conjecture I might make. I feel there's a reason to have covered the whole thing up for so many years.
Going back to the original weather balloon story.
Right.
Why? Why do you think they did that?
Well, that's why I couldn't say. I don't know why.
I kind of get the feeling that maybe, as like Stan had said to me earlier today, that maybe when the material was brought in, and after the initial analysis, it proved to be so significant that perhaps the people needed more time before they wanted to make a statement.
It's possible.
I'm very...
Well, they've had 33 years to make this statement. They haven't made it so far.
Isn't that interesting? And now command has gone down through several hands.
That's right.
Do you think that whatever happened is significant enough to warrant any kind of a congressional investigation?
Oh, I wouldn't think so.
It should just be left alone?
No, I think it should be left alone because I think the people who has charge of that have a reason to have been that way. I think they have a reason. See, people don't do things without reason normally.
Do you mean that then if more information is not released, then you would consider that as an appropriate act?
I don't think so, no. Because while commands have changed, some of those are still there. That might be the controlling factor of the whole thing, you see.
I see.
So I wouldn't want anybody's toes to be stepped on.
Was there anything about the experience of finding the debris, anything at all that really stands out about all of it, in your mind?
Well, I think the one thing that stands foremost is the fact that with all this debris scattered over such a wide area, nothing actually hit the ground. No solid material hit the ground. I mean, no one object hit the ground. It disintegrated in the air before the particles came down.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, how wide an area was it?
Oh, it was about 200 feet wide, I guess, and probably 3/4 of a mile long. And the one thing that I was stressing about this weather balloon, there's no weather balloon that the Air Force or even the civilian observers had that would cover that great an area. And particularly using the kind of material that nobody could identify. I couldn't identify it. And I know all the materials that was used in weather observation in those days. Now, if they got something else now that I don't know, he said, I hadn't kept up with anything like that since I got out of the service.
Also, you probably knew the basic materials that went into regular aircraft.
Right, definitely. It is not like that at all.
How many people do you figure were involved with the picking up of the pieces and the sending it on to Carswell and then the change from Carswell to Wright-Patterson?
Well, I don't think there were over maybe 5 or 6. They're very close to my command.
I see.
All the information was not disseminated over the base. There were a lot of people on the base never knew anything about it.
Really?
That's right.
So it's no wonder that the public was kept in the dark as well.
That's right.
I spoke with...
I didn't know all the personnel on the plane.
Yeah, he told me that he was astounded at how it had no weight.
That's right. I was astounded at that myself, because I was picking it up.
He never saw the hieroglyphics because the pieces, by the time they got to the plane, apparently were wrapped.
Yeah.
And so he never really saw this writing material. That's why I wanted to get more on that from you.
Well, no, I think that was all enclosed when we brought it to Carswell.
Yes. Was there a lot of the writing, sir?
What, pardon?
The hieroglyphics itself, was there a lot of it?
Well, every member had some of it on. Every small member had hieroglyphics on it.
Every piece?
Every piece that I've examined. Now, I didn't examine every one of them very closely, but every one that I saw had those hieroglyphics on.
That nobody could decipher?
No. And the astounding part about it, they were pinkish or kind of a lavender and pink. Very light colors.
You mean the metal itself?
No, the hieroglyphics, the writing.
Oh.
It was on the metal.
I see.
If it was metal, which I don't know yet, it was material. It looked very much like balsa wood, but as light or lighter than balsa wood.
And as thin as cigarette foil?
No, not those little numbers. They were about 3/8 inch by 1/2 square, rectangular, varying in length from about 6 inches to about 4 feet long.
Some of the pieces of metal?
Some of the pieces of members that we found that had the hieroglyphics on.
Oh, I see. In other words, I just realized that I was not understanding that there is pieces of metal, and then there's another thing that you refer to as a member.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand the difference.
Well, this what appeared like metal, what I told you was about the thickness of the foil in a cigarette paper. That was, you couldn't even feel you had it in your hands. It was so light. But yet you couldn't dent on it. You couldn't make a dent on it. So, see, that's something else that was outstanding in my mind, and I still wonder just what was it. I've never seen metal like that before, nor have I seen since.
And nobody ever told you?
Nobody told me anything about it.
Maybe it's possible that they never found out.
Maybe so.
I'm almost convinced of that, because you'd think...
Biologists could have determined, if it could be determined, what that was. But it never was revealed.
Or at least never to you and to the people you were involved with.
That's right.
That's what I meant before when I asked you if that's frustrating, because you must, I'm sure you realize that someone somewhere knows more of the information.
Right.
And does it frustrate you that you may never find out?
Not necessarily.
Really?
I'm really not worrying about it, because it's something that I'm trying to forget about.
Really?
That's right. It's an experience it's the kind of experience I hope I never go through again.
Is that because of all the notoriety that you received?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which I didn't relish that, whatever.
Yeah, I see. Very interesting. It's an interesting story. I understand that your son was involved, and in fact, I'll be talking to him tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, he saw some of the material. In fact, what I did when I got home from out in the field, I stopped at the house and I told my wife and my son that I found stuff on the ranch. And so I had some stuff in the car. So I brought a few pieces of that, not very much, and showed it to him. And my son was 11 years old then. Of course, everything made a very indelible impression on his mind. And we discussed it. I said, well, son, I can't tell you what it is. He says, well, I've never seen anything like it before myself. So, of course, being 11 years old, he didn't have much opportunity to see very much. But still in all, my wife said she had never seen anything like that before. So anyway, we looked at it. I put it back in the car, and then I went on to the base with it. So that's how it was. That's as much as my son and my wife know about it.
Hmm.
But my wife knew, my son knew about the trip. I told him in detail what had happened. And so, of course, he didn't brag about it. He didn't tell anybody about that, because I told him not to.
Yeah.
And the same way with my wife.
When you think back now on the last 32 years and you reflect on this, are there any statements? Is there a statement that you'd like to make about how you feel about the whole thing now? About even the fact that you felt that it was covered up for a while?
Well, the only thing I can say, I'm not proud of it, but I'm glad I'm the one who had something to do with it to begin with.
Why?
Because I wouldn't know as much as I do now. And about this whole thing, of course, I don't know very much, but I still wouldn't even know that. I'm gratified to know that I'm the one who started the whole thing. I mean, as far as picking up the stuff.
Yes. Are you glad that Stan Friedman got in touch with you?
Beg pardon?
Are you glad that Stan Friedman finally caught up with you?
Yes, I did, because I got to know Stan Friedman very, very well. In fact, that's how I found out that he and I had studied nuclear physics with the same instructor.
Yeah.
Only I was years ahead of him.
What do you think about the world of, or the study of UFOs in the 80s now?
I think it's very interesting. There's not too much printed as of now. Once in a while, I read an article about it, and I study it, and of course you have to sift through that kind of information, and you make your own mind as to whether it's right or whether it's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep up with it. What's printed, that's about all I do.
Were you interested in it back in 1947?
Yes, I certainly was. In fact, there's only one thing that I can see. In my flight, I have noticed things in the air. Of course, UFOs never was brought to my mind. But I saw objects in the air that I didn't know what it was. Well, you have to realize this, basically. Anytime there's something in the air that you don't know what it is, it's a UFO, it's an unidentified flying object.
Right.
See, that's what those words stand for.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen some objects in the air that I didn't know what it was, but I didn't pay attention to them. Now, one night, one little incident that I never revealed to anyone, which is not worth anything.
Well, it may be.
One night, since I had charge of security on the air base, the provost marshal, who was working under me, you see, called me at my house. He told me to hurry up and go to the base immediately. So I got in my car and I floorboarded it 4 miles away to the base. And while going out there as fast as my car could run, I saw some lights in the sky, but it was defying formation. It is a perfect V formation. And it was visible for about maybe two or three seconds from overhead to be on the horizon. So I never questioned what that was. It's just maybe a shooting star or something like that, but I've never seen meteorites in formation. And in fact, when I got to the base, I told Major Easley, who was the provost marshal, that I'd seen that. He says, yeah, some of the boys over here saw that too. And the rate it was traveling, it was traveling thousands and thousands of miles per hour. I knew we had no aircraft capable of making that speed. So we let the whole thing go. But they were lights. Now what it was, I still don't know.
How many lights were there?
There was a formation of 5.
In a V shape?
In a V shape.
And
I saw it just so momentarily. I could see the numbers. That's all.
What was the time frame in perspective to the Roswell incident?
Oh, that was about perhaps a month or so before.
Before Roswell?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Had you heard of other UFO sightings in that area of New Mexico?
No, I didn't keep up with that.
Yeah.
Those were not my duties. No, I had my hands full out there because I ran a big office.
Yeah.
Had charged a lot of people, a lot of responsibility.
One last question, Mr. Marcel. Some of the other people that were involved, either out there in the field or at Carswell or at Roswell, do you think that they should not feel that they shouldn't talk about this? Should it be eased up a little bit at this time? Because we are in a new decade now.
Yeah, I know. Well, that I couldn't answer that because I wouldn't know.
Yeah. How do you feel about it yourself now? Are you going to keep talking about it, or are you just going to try and forget it?
Well,
or
all I can talk about is what I've already revealed.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
But you don't mind talking about that?
Not at all. Not anymore. It's publicized now.
Did you have to ask someone's permission in order to talk about it?
No. I used common sense on that. I used basic training.
Yeah.
Country.
Yes.
I would do nothing to damage it.
Well, I believe that. I believe that.
Politicians might do that, but not me.
Yeah. And in fact, at the time, I'll bet you didn't even think that it was even like a Russian aircraft or someone else.
Not at all.
It was just too puzzling.
That's right.
I'd really like to thank you for taking the time to talk to me about this.
You know, there's one man that I wish was still living.
Who is that?
Brazil, the man, the rancher.
Oh, yeah.
But he's dead now.
Hmm.
In fact, I'm still the only living member of the staff of the first atomic bomb group in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm the only one still living.
Wow, really? That's amazing. I wasn't supposed to take more than about 15 or 20 minutes of your time. I just got carried away with myself.
It's all right.
And I really enjoyed this.
Well, I've enjoyed talking with you, and that's what I told you is just about all I can talk about because that's all I know.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad that you're not afraid to talk about it. That's the point.
No, I'm not afraid to talk about it because I sincerely know that I'm not revealing any secrets, any military secrets. But if I know what the material was or what the object was and talk about it, then I might be revealing secrets. But just telling what the material appeared to me, it's the material, the description I told you, is what it appeared to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I'd never seen before and I haven't seen since. And that is a conjecture that it was something from outer space.
Interesting. It's an interesting story. And do you know that...
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that if they can get by with it.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff. When are you going back to New Orleans for another test? In January, you say, right?
January,
Yeah. Okay.
My
Well,
little doctor.
he's well named.
Well, I tell you, he's like he looks, from his ambitions, it's like he's picked out of a right too.
Oh, really?
We've always thought the same way. In fact, he wanted to become, when he went to college, he wanted to become a physicist. He wanted to follow his daddy's footsteps.
Oh, yeah.
And but later on, after he got in college, he started taking pre-med, and then he decided to be a doctor. Well, he's a good one today.
And then he got hooked.
Huh?
And then he got hooked into it.
Yeah, that's right. See, he's an ear, nose, and throat specialist. He went to school many years.
Yeah.
And right now he's a flight surgeon with the Montana Air National Guard. He was here last month.
Oh, just visiting the folks, huh?
Well, no, he was sent by the Air National Guard to Fort Ruck, Alabama.
Oh, I see.
To study aeronautical medicine.
Yeah.
And I think he's coming back down here in February to study for his flight training.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And he's an MD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to talking to him as well.
Well, fine.
Nothing wrong with getting father and son.
He'll be glad to talk to you, for sure.
Would you like me to send you regards?
Good. It's a matter that I have to be careful.
Yeah.
I can't overdo anything.
Do you prefer to be called Jesse or Lieutenant Colonel or?
Oh no, just Jesse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do appreciate.
Oh, you see, I resigned my commission.
Oh, you did.
Oh yeah. I'm John Q. Civilian now.
Okay.
I tell you the reason why I got out of the military service. I fought hard to get out because I was in a position that was hard to get rid of.
You were in intelligence all the way to the end, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
So how did you fight it?
Well, finally, after exploring every possible means, my mother was still living. She was almost 102 years old.
Wow.
And very seldom I could see her. So I applied for a hardship discharge.
I see.
That's how I was able. And when I revealed that to my commanding general, General Nelson. See, at that time I was with the Special Weapons Development Program. And he hated to see me leave, but he said, "Well, he said, that's your desire." He said, "I'm not going to prevent you." But he says, "You'd do me a favor if you'd stay in my command." You see, I had quite a lot of joy there. when I don't know what you recall when President Truman announced to the public that the Russians had exploded an atomic device.
I recall, reading about it. Yes.
Well, I'm the guy who wrote that report.
You did, huh?
Yeah, that was my part. That was part of my duty.
No kidding.
We worked in cooperation with the Naval Research Laboratory in Washington. See, I was stationed in Washington then.
Yeah.
And through air samples, that's how we found out.
What year was it then that you actually resigned your commission?
1955, I think.
55.
Yeah, 65.
65. Okay, so you've been John Q. Civilian for almost 15 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting. Did you go into business for yourself at the time?
Yes, I did. I went into electronics business.
Oh, I see.
And I stayed in that until I retired. But before I retired, I bought some property. I developed it. I opened up a subdivision.
Yeah.
I built the very first house on it. And I've got most of the rest of it sold now.
Oh, that's great.
I still own property, which I won't sell because I don't need to.
Yeah. How old are you now, Jesse?
73.
Oh, boy, you almost forgot.
Yeah. It's so long ago. I was born in 1907.
1907.
Right.
Wow, that's great.
And incidentally,
Yeah.
to give you something about aeronautics, I earned my wings in 1928.
1928.
Right.
God, son of a gun.
Started flying an old Eagle Rock biplane. The only instrument you have is your seat. You flew by the seat of your pants.
Hey, do you ever read Omni magazine? Very interesting, Jesse.
I definitely want to.
Stan Friedman was telling me this morning that he had wished that he had written the article, and he's waiting, as I am, for the skeptics to respond to it to see if they try and come back at us in any way.
Yeah.
But I think you might find it interesting.
Well, one thing I'm waiting for is Bill Moore told me he's going to send me a couple of those books that they published, Berlitz and Moore.
Oh, you haven't even seen the book yet?
No, I haven't seen the book.
Oh, I have a copy of it, like, right in front of me.
You have?
Yes, I do. Oh, they've got all...
The very first picture that was printed
Yeah.
in the papers. That was the one that was printed in the Homer Courier right here in Homer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And I think there's at least one other picture of you in here, as well as the pictures of most of the other people, the principals that were involved, like Ramey and Blanchard and Lieutenant Hart. You're all in here.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm eager to get a copy. Bill just told me he's going to send me 2 copies. I told him I'd like to have a copy,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll send you 2 of them. And he also is going to send one to my son.
Oh, good.
So it'll be forthcoming anyway.
Yeah, well, that's great. I've decided I'm going to spend 2 full weeks on my reports on NBC devoted to the Roswell case, and I think it's really important. And I really thank you for the time and giving me all the information.